Hey guys, so I don't know if you're aware, but there is a lot of media out there for Black Spire Outpost and the Galactic Starcruiser, and Disney's doing a great job of bringing it all together and telling the backstory. So one of the first things you're going to want to do to get the full experience is read some of these things, and there's also some amazing VR experiences that any Star Wars fan really just needs to get an Oculus Quest to do Vader Immortal and Tales from Galaxy's Edge. So the first thing is this Black Spire book from Galaxy's Edge. So this is the whole story of Vi Marati, who's pictured on the cover, and you'll see her at Galaxy's Edge. She is the elite spy sent by General Organa to Batuu to establish a resistance base, and it tells about all her stories and all her trials and tribulations where her ship crashes and her stuff gets stolen, so she has to work at Savi's workshop. She has to make a deal with Oga from Oga's Cantina, who's the Blutopian crime lord that runs the whole town. They're sitting drinking fuzzy tauntauns in Oga's Cantina, which you can actually drink while you're there. There's also a Galaxy's Edge comic book. It's now in an anthology, so it's easier to read, and talks about Han Solo going to Galaxy's Edge and the little baby Sarlacc. It goes into that, and there's also a green crystal statue in Doc Ondor's that they talk about going after, and it's in the book along with Chirrut Imwe. The brand new one that just came out is The Princess and the Scoundrel, and this is fun because this is the story of Han and Leia's wedding, of course. Right after Return of the Jedi, they get married on Endor, and it introduces her dress, which is fun for some of us for Disney bounding and getting your costumes ready for the Star Cruiser. But also, Mon Mothma, in partially political ploy and partially as a gift, gets them to take their honeymoon on the Galactic Starcruiser. So we're reading it right now. We're just getting to the point where they just got on board. And then they also have these comics, which are pretty fun. They're still coming out. I think there's one more in the series, and they go through, it's under the guise of basically a story being told by the droid on the Halcyon to try to calm a girl down as the ship is being attacked by pirates, but it goes into all these historical stories. So this is Buryaga from the High Republic. He's a Jedi Padawan, and then we've got Aurra Sing, we've got Padme and Anakin show up, and I think when the Hutts are in charge of the Halcyon, they take it over at one point, and then so does the Emperor. And so then here we've got Lando and Hondo, and then we've got Bossk, so more bounty hunter stuff. So this is a really cool series of books and comics that really give some fun backstory to not only Galaxy's Edge, but also to the Halcyon. As far as the Oculus Quest goes, there are 3 official experiences, 2 of which are specifically for the Oculus Quest and standalone. That's Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, as well as Vader Immortal, and then one, which is Star Wars Squadrons, that requires a PC to plug in to your headset. So this is Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. I've gone through some of the loading sequences really quickly. So this is pretty cool. There's some really great stories in here, and we start out in Sleazel Slack's Cantina, and that's played by Bobby Moynihan. You'll see him in a sec. But here we actually have Frank Oz coming back as Yoda in one of the tales. You can be IG-88 and storm a tower, and we also meet Anthony Daniels' C-3PO. You can change the music in the jukebox, and you head through the cantina, and once you've given Sleazel Slack certain things, he'll tell you these extra stories. But then up in this part of the bar, we overlook Galaxy's Edge. It's so cool. There's the Falcon, Doc Ondor's is there around the corner, and all of the things that you see in real life Batuu, now we're seeing here. You even go to Mubo's droid workshop, and we actually get to meet Mubo, which is kind of fun. And he's on your comm wrist, kind of guiding you around because you're supposed to be working for him as part of this whole story. And then also you get to go out in the Batuu Wilds and you fight the Guavian Death Squad. It's actually a relatively hard game if you have it on hard. You can heal, you can have all kinds of inventory. You have to do these little puzzles to get more gear. They're not very hard puzzles, but you have this little multi-tool that you can use. So that's pretty interesting and fun gameplay. And then you collect different things. You can see you can actually have remote droids that help you out when you're running around. And then you get to see C-3PO, and you even get to rescue R2-D2, which is very exciting. And again, Anthony Daniels plays C-3PO, and Frank Oz does play Yoda when you see him in that part of the story. Vader Immortal is a 3-part story, essentially, where you're immersed inside of a Star Wars story. There's 2 parts to it. One is the lightsaber dojo. It's kind of at the end, but it's frankly one of the best parts of the experience, where you actually get to wield lightsabers. These are Ahsoka Tano's lightsabers. You can pick up blasters, you can steal them from stormtroopers, but they have a limited number of shots. There's some thermal detonators as well. But in general, you use the Force with your non-dominant hand by squeezing the grip button, and then you are using your lightsaber, which you can throw, and it comes back to your hand. You can deflect blaster bolts and kind of do everything you would imagine you could do with the lightsaber. And it actually feels fairly like lightsaber combat until we get an actual controller that feels more like moving a sword. This is pretty darn good. And then in the actual narrative part of it, you got Vader right up in your face. And I got to tell you, it does feel pretty emotional. It is impressive, and I would say most impressive. It really gives you that feel of being inside a story and feels nice and creepy. And then there's all these elements that go on in the story which are pretty interesting. It's mostly on rails, but you do get some kind of activities that you get to do, and as you go through the stories it trains you on your lightsaber dojo to some extent. So then once you get into that, you're gonna know how to use the Force and throw things around and use your lightsaber. So these are great games. I would highly recommend them. I think it's a great experience for anybody, but go back to all of those comic books and the books and really get that backstory in Batu before you head out, because it's going to add a lot to the story, and they're doing a really good job at combining all these elements together. So have fun. See you on the Starcruiser.